Hello and welcome to my presentation. I'm going to be talking about the Turkish Bath, which is a painting by Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres. The Turkish Bath is a painting made in 1862 by Jean-Auguste, as we have said. It's an oil on canvas painting. It's painted about the famous Turkish bathhouses in the style of neoclassicism and Orientalism. Let's talk a little bit about the artist Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres. He was a neoclassical French painter who started painting since he was a young man, and he painted until his old age. He died at 87, having lived from 1780 to 1867. He majorly did oil and canvas paintings as well as graphite paintings. Let's talk about the formal elements of the painting. The brightest part of the painting is the head wrap on the performer in the foreground, and the light bounces off the head wrap and trickles on her left shoulder. This light brings to attention the performer as the focal point from which other subjects depart. However, the subjects on the right of the painting seem to be watching someone else, someone who is beyond our line of sight and someone who is beyond the performer. They stare in a manner that suggests attention rather than passive perception. The other subjects are all looking at other parts of the painting. One stares at the only standing dancer, the other stares at the extreme right, this one here, while yet another stares at the extreme right, this one here. There's a tambourine player who seems to be adding to the performance. This frenzy of activity does not seem chaotic or disarranged. On the contrary, each subject contributes to one part of a cohesive performance. Let's talk about line. Usually, we assume that curves are used to depict the female form. The curves of the breasts and stomach and thighs all show the female form. Additionally, though, these curvy lines show how relaxed the subjects are. The shoulders are languid, they lie across each other's bodies instead of arranging themselves in a straight line. Their heads are tilted back or turned to the side. You can also see how the bodies in the painting melt into each other, hands on each other's bodies, leaning against each other. The exception is the subject whose arms are folded across the chest, which is a surprisingly defensive gesture in this evidently relaxed atmosphere. When it comes to color, warmer colors dominate the scene. These colors are subtle and soft, light browns, subtle pinks, and oranges. Cool colors are used to bring some contrast in the painting, as seen on some of the fabric pieces, but even those are kept away from the focal point of the painting. The background is depicted in dark brown to show the bounds of the room and contain the painting, as if to prevent the subjects from spilling out of the painting, as if to shield them from the outside world. This gives the viewer the impression that they are seeing something they should not be seeing, something that cannot be viewed from outside the room. The subjects seem unaware of the viewer simply because. Now onto the main themes, which are staring and the Orient. The subjects seem unaware of the viewer simply because they do not stare at them or acknowledge them. If they did, at least one person in the painting would face the painter. Despite this oblivion, they seem to be posing for an observer. Their bodies are leaning towards the viewer, not away from them. Additionally, they're adorned with jewelry and makeup, which seems staged. They're also painted in such a manner to depict the traditional desirable woman, which makes them feel like they're posing. Importantly, this drawing is not from observation. Depicting the Orient, it only exists as a response to the West, and much of this existence of the Orient is crafted in the imaginations of the West. Ingres exhibits this when he assembles various models and poses from different paintings, as opposed to drawing from observation. This speculation on the events happening in the baths further depicts the Orient as a theater of sensuality for the consumption of the West. By interrogating how the viewer is invited to stare without the consent of the subjects, we can see how the Orient exists only as a hypersexualized, romanticized theater of sensuality for the West.